All right, what is up, guys? This is Clinton from StarCrossed Souls, and we're here at YCS Atlanta with Ken. You said your name was?
Ken Frazier.
So, Ken, I faced you in round one, actually, and after 7 rounds of Swiss throughout the whole event here on day one, you had the most original deck out of anybody that I played. And I saw you we're here at the end of the event. I saw you again. I said I had to get this guy's profile because it's a tried and true strategy, but the board that you end on is just crazy. So I really wanted to show this off. So take us through the deck and tell me what inspired you to make this.
Okay, so what inspired me to make this, first of all, was I've been running Six Samurai off and on competitively and non-competitively since Storm of Ragnarok, when the legendary Six Samurai came out. But I stopped playing in 2013, came back a bit in 2016, and then when the Link era came back, I officially jumped back in and was competitive.
Sweet.
And when the new Six Samurai monsters were announced and released, I played them and loved them. And I've been playing seriously competitively since about July of 2018, or June of 2018.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had kind of a similar thing where I've played the game casually ever since it came out, but I only really started playing competitively like early last year. So it was actually it was a deck profile from YCS Atlanta last year that made me want to really play. So
and from here on out, our team is going to be going to YCS Atlanta every time we get the chance.
Yeah, I concur with that. So let's go through the list and see what you got.
Okay, so first of all, I've got 3 Six Samurai Kageki. That's your bread and butter. That's your normal summon. No matter what you get, or no matter what you get, you will almost certainly end up normal summoning to special summon another Six Samurai.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, 3 Secret Six Samurai Kizaru. If you have these 2 in the opening hand, you get the full combo off.
So it's just a 2-card combo.
It is a 2-card combo, but there's a bunch of other cards that can go to it. For instance, if you end up opening a Mizuho or a Shinai, which I'm running 3. Oh, I'm running 3 of each. I'm running 3 of each one of these. These are my 3-Os. If you open any one of these, it makes it, or you can play through an Ash on that Kizaru.
That's awesome.
Yep, because usually your Kizaru is to search the Mizuho or the Shinai with this. But then I have 2 Fuma, and the reason I'm running 2 Fuma, 2 Hatsume, and 2 Legendary Secret is because I do not want to run one-ofs of these, because if I open this one, if I open Hatsume in my hand specifically, and I only have 1, this combo does not work, because you need to summon Hatsume from deck.
Wow.
If you top deck 2 Fuma, it's not that bad, but if you top deck your 1 Fuma, it's not that bad unless you get, if you're able to get these 2 or just anything else on the board that you can summon 2 of, it's not that bad. But if you end up having to summon this and a Legendary Secret, or summon this with Kageki, the combo does not work if you only have 1 copy.
Okay, so no keys on?
No keys on, no gateway.
No gateway, wow.
But the simple reason is because this deck abuses the ever-living crap out of Levier, and Levier's a 3 rank, and at the key moments where you'd be able to play the keys on, or where gateway would get you a search, you would much rather just have a 3-star. So instead, I'm actually running, I'll show in a minute, I'm running 2 instant fusions for the 3-star warrior fusion.
Okay.
The only one that we've got. So that way I can continue getting my plays and always have the warriors under.
That's awesome.
But the last monster is one Inishi Shin's Chancellor for the search with Isolde. This is fantastic. Turn 2 against Thunder Dragons. This can pop their Summon Summoner, bring it back to your board. It's fantastic for literally, with the cards you'll see later. It's fantastic to end up being able to bring it back to your board after you destroy it.
That's awesome. So no Shogun and no Grandmaster or nothing like that?
Nothing like that.
Wow.
Just straight 4s and 3s.
That's amazing.
Just 1s. And then you've got your basically 4 Rhodas, but Rhoda with 3 Smoke Signal. And then I opted to run Shien's Dojo, because if you end up using Shien's Dojo and you don't have a Kizaru, let's say you have a Kageki and a Mizuho and a Shien's Dojo, the full combo still goes off. If you're able to get Kageki, Mizuho, Kageki Shinai, Kageki Fuma, and then another one of any of these 3, then the combo still works, but you get less a less powerful negation off.
Okay.
Then, like I said, 2 instant fusions instead of 2 Kizarus. That way you have the actual 3-star on board. And one thing this deck does, 2 Burning Bamboo Swords.
Yeah, this was like the nuts thing that I saw that was
I'll explain later, but you use Griffin or you use Cursed Bamboo Sword itself to search the first burning, set the second, set Cursed Bamboo Sword from the grave, or from the grave with Nightmare Griffin, and then with Beauregard, you send it to the grave to summon a monster that you've destroyed, and then bring Burning Bamboo Sword back after you've sent Cursed Bamboo Sword to the grave, and you get 2 searches of Cursed Bamboo Sword, so 2 burning bamboo swords.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So that skips your opponent's main phase 1, right?
Exactly. Yep. And you can play a burning on top of a burning. I also have I'll go ahead and show. I have 2 Called by the Grave. And I also do have 2 Red Reboot, and those are the only hand drops I run. I probably should have ran more, but I wanted to keep this deck at 40 cards, and I wanted to keep it as consistent as I could, and there was really nothing else I could sacrifice other than possibly 1 instant fusion.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep, I'm running 6 equip spells, DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation, of course, Phoenix Blade, Cursed Bamboo Sword, amazing, Overdone Burial, which is an extra summon along with DDR.
Yeah.
Broken Bamboo Sword, which is just if you're able to get any one of these 3 in your opening hand, you have a setup for turn 2 to be able to stop your opponent from doing their second main phase if you go first. So literally, you stop their first main phase 1, then you go back to your turn 2, then you play a Broken Bamboo Sword while you have a Burning Bamboo Sword, and they skip their second main phase 1.
Wow.
Yep. And then Living Fossil, just an absolutely fantastic card.
So do you usually summon a level 3 out of the deck with Isolde?
Actually, what I do, and I'll go through the whole combo if you want me to.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go ahead and just pull one of these up. So all this combo needs is 1 Kakeki and 1 Kizaru. There's a lot of other cards. If you top deck 2 Hazame, you're screwed. If you top deck 3 Equip spells, you're screwed. But aside from that, or if you top deck or if you don't top deck a way to get these, or a way to get 3, and one of the thirds being a Mizuho, Shinai, or Fuma, you're probably not getting the full combo. You're getting a secondary version of it, or you're just not getting it at all. But this is how it works. So you normal summon Legendary 6 Samurai Kakeki, and you special summon Kizaru. Kizaru's effect activates whenever whenever you activate him. You can search a 6 Samurai that does not share an attribute with any monster you control. So I usually go for Mizuho. Then you link these 2 away for Isolde, and use Isolde's unsummon effect to summon Anishi, which is just a fantastic turn 2 option because you can't summon the monster anyways.
Add it to hand.
And then you send, let's see, of course, usually I try to keep DDR in deck just in case I draw it, but you send Phoenix Blade, Cursed Bamboo Sword, Overdone Burial, and Living Fossil. It's always better to draw one of these 2. To summon Secret 6 Samurai Kizaru, and Kizaru's effect will then activate because it's non-once per turn searching, but also Cursed Bamboo Sword will activate first. Kizaru will be chain linked too, so it goes off first, and you get Fuma because you don't have a wind on the field, and then Cursed Bamboo Sword gets you a burning. Then move that over here, push back to deck. Then you link summon again for a link 3 for Summon Sork. Summon Sork, you summon your own Fuma to their side of the field.
Yeah, that really threw me through a loop when I saw that.
And there's a couple extra combos that work with that, or that people used to think worked with it. There's a bunch of different strange interactions with some of the 6 Samurai monsters that can make or break this, or make or break even a bigger board with this. But regardless, usually because I searched the fire attribute Mizuho first, I'm going to search Shinai from my deck. And when you control either Shinai or Mizuho and you have the other in hand, you can special summon it. So I special summon. I banish Isolde and Kizaru from my graveyard to bring Phoenix Blade back to hand. Then I overlay for Levier the Sea Dragon, detach with Levier to special summon Kizaru, and once again you get his effect. And usually I go for the fire attribute. The fire attribute's best to go for because if your opponent stops you and you have any other way to summon a thing on the board, you can use Mizuho's effect to tribute a card to pop theirs on turn 2, or if you didn't go first, that works too. But it's always smarter to summon him because he's the only fire attribute in the deck. So if you say have Hazame on board, you can't you can't search the water attribute.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then, because you have Phoenix Blade in hand, you're going to go link 2 and specifically point right here, right at this zone here for Nightmare Cerberus, and this actually works on both sides. It just changes things up a little bit. But Nightmare Cerberus here, you're going to pitch the Phoenix Blade to pop the Fuma on your opponent's side of the field. Fuma's effect will activate in Grave, summoning your Hatsume from your deck. And that's the only way to get Hatsume other than top decking it and special summoning it with a card. There's nothing else in this deck that special summons from the hand, so if you were to top deck Hatsume and you only had 1, you would not be able to do the combo. But either way, Hatsume's effect, banish and I usually try to do the Kakeki and Kizaru that I summoned in the beginning just to keep things consistent, because you banish 2 Six Samurais from either field and or graveyard to summon one from your graveyard. And I summon Legendary Six Samurai Shinai, because of course you control the Shinai. Special summon Mizuho, once again, overlay for another Levier. Detach the Shinai to summon Kizaru in this zone here. Kizaru's effect once again to get the water attribute.
That's so busted. It's not a once per turn.
I initially did not, when I first looked at these, I was kind of apprehensive. And then Levier and in fact MX Saber Invoker before it was banned made me completely rethink how that worked. But now, because you were able to search it and special summon, now the kicker, you banish the Kizaru and the Mizuho from your graveyard in order to bring Phoenix Blade back to your hand, because you have Nightmare Cerberus pointing to the left here, you would take Summon Sorceress as link 3 and Levier as link 4 to go into Nightmare Griffin. Griffin lets you pitch Phoenix Blade to set Cursed Bamboo Sword, and then you of course draw a card, whatever it is. But from here on out, the only monsters that can activate their effects that are special summoned are link monsters. So from here on, you have to be
monsters that are linked.
Yeah,
right?
monsters that are linked. So you have to be extremely careful with where you put your cards. Let's say, because the next play would be going into Levier. Let's say I put it here, and then use Levier to summon Kizaru. Well, it would have to go here, and then I wouldn't be able to get the effect off. I realized that maybe a month ago. So instead, you summon it above. Because Nightmare Griffin points up here. You detach to special summon Kizaru. Kizaru here again. Old true. Hey, I'm getting bored.
That's what we got.
Josh, I'm getting bored. Sorry about that.
You're good.
But then, of course, Kizaru's effect. At this entire time, since the second Kizaru you summoned with Isolde, you have not been able to search a dark attribute. So, I initially thought this card was crap, and then I realized I can search it pretty consistently once I get the Summon Sork off board.
The brand new one, right?
Yep, the brand new one. So this has 2 effects you'll both use. But now that you have what you need for link 4, Nightmare Cerberus is link 2, Levier link 3, and Kizaru is link 4. For a Worldguard Dragon. Yes, Worldguard.
Man, I pulled one of those when Battle's Legend first came out. I was like, I wonder what this could be used for, and I've never had a use for it.
Never had a use for it.
Yeah.
But now, anytime, because the part of this combo really works with any warrior deck that has non-once per turn effects that can spam summon the 3 stars. You can do Worldguard, and you can end up doing what I'm about to do here, which is send Cursed Bamboo Sword to the grave, because Worldguard Dragon's effect, you can send an equipped spell from your field to graveyard to special summon a monster that was destroyed this turn to eat from either player's graveyard. But because I destroyed Fuma on my opponent's side, I bring the Fuma to hand. Cursed Bamboo Sword was sent to grave, or with Griffin's effect, so that's Chain Link 1. And I did ask a judge to make sure this works. It does work. Special summon Legendary Legendary Secret of the Six Samurai. If you Snorl or special summon a Secret Six Samurai, only Secret Six Samurai, you can summon him. Now I'm going to use his second effect, which is banish a Six Sam from grave. His type level, or rather his attribute level attack and defense become that of the one you banish. So I banish Legendary Six Samurai Shinai, and then I go into, because now I have a level 3 water attribute with 1500 attack and defense. I've got 8 stars here.
Which one is the tuner?
The tuner, is Fuma.
Okay.
And the only reason why I was able to do that is because Griffin is still pointing to him. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use his effect like that.
Yeah, so the zone placement is super important here.
But then you go into a 8-star synchro, Warlord Savage Dragon, bread and butter of the negate.
Yeah, so that's it right there. Equip it with Summon Sork.
Yep. Now you equip it with Summon Sork. Now, if you did not get a second Kizaru, or if you did not open up Kizaru in your hand, you're going to end up having missed one of the 2 Kizarus that you have to summon. So what you can instead do is summon Legendary Six Samurai Shien here. So you can still use one of the main cards from Six Samurai, and this is from the original sneak peek.
Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to build this deck is so old.
First
I initially didn't even run it. I didn't even have a card save in it for Eternity. But yep, I've been using that for as long as that made me want to run the deck.
Yeah. So we have a negate, we have the Griffin Lock, and then does Worldguard any kind of protection as well?
Technically, Cursed Bamboo Sword should have activated. That's a misplay on my part. That's just from not focusing as well. But when Cursed Bamboo Sword to clear this up, Nightmare Griffin says that the card that you set with its effect cannot activate at this turn, but because it's a trigger effect in graveyard, you can activate it. I'm mistiming, but just to show the full combo. First Bamboo Sword would then bring a second Burning Bamboo Sword, so that is a fully searchable 2 Burning Bamboo Swords. Then you play Burning Bamboo Sword, Burning Bamboo Sword. And the only other cards I have in my extra deck are Dragonus, the Wicked Knight, for an instant fusion, because it's better to run this. Like I said, it's better to run this instead of running that instead of a Carbonella, or instead of Kizan, the one that where you special summon from hand with the 6 Samurai, simply because you need them. You need those 3 things. But then Abyss Dweller, because I was actually going to get a Nightmare Pegasus, but I did not have the time and money to do it.
Dweller puts in so much work this format, though. Like, it's crazy.
Yes, I know. But then, in a second Isolde, if you have an instant fusion or an extra summonable card in your hand, or if you're able to if you're able to summon more than just 2 cards to when you first play Isolde, and they effect Veiler or they infinite permanence your Isolde, let's go into Isolde again.
Yeah, just make another one. Yep. I completely agree with that decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then to go into, of course, you can also summon the Xian if you don't have enough. But turn 2, let's say your opponent does what they're going to do. If Thunder Dragons are going to play their Summon Summoner, whatever, you can when your turn goes, special summon Anishi, Xian's Chancellor, by banishing 2 6 Samurai from your grave. And that effect does not activate. The banishing has to happen, and then he gets summoned. And it's a continuous effect, from what I understand.
That's awesome.
Yep. So then, I don't quote me on that. The fact that it's continuous, I do not remember if it was, but the problem, it did not pop up. But then, because you have Burial Guard, if you use Anishi to destroy their monster, you can send a Burning Bamboo Sword back or to the graveyard to summon their monster. Link over either for, if you get a Link 2, you can go for a Pegasus instead of having to do it Abyss Dweller, or you can go into either Nightmare Cerberus, pop a monster, get a draw, because you can also bring back Burning or Divine Sword Phoenix Blade if you need the discard, or if you need, or same thing with Nightmare Phoenix. So you have 2 monster destructions, or a monster and spell trap destruction, or a monster in any card being sent back to the deck.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's see the side deck really quick while you got it out.
It's really pretty simple. I just ran 2 of the cards I needed. Skullmeister, that ended up not coming up very often. 2 Ash, of course, Ash.
Yeah.
2 Effect Veiler, 2 Pankatrops, and then I ended up.
Card.
Yep. Now I did not. I ran. I should have been able to find one other kind of kaiju, but I was not able to. But I was never able to actually use the interrupted kaiju slumbers or the twin twisters. They just never ended up in my hand, even when I side decked.
Yeah. So Dogoran,
yep,
Slumber,
and then the super mecha or the mecha one. And the upside of having the interrupted kaiju slumbers is if you kaiju me on your turn, I can then, or let's say instead of pitching the Phoenix Blade at one point, I can pitch an interrupted kaiju slumber. You kaiju me on your turn, it becomes my turn. I can then banish the interrupted kaiju slumber to get the super anti-kaiju.
That's awesome.
Yep. So it all ends up working well and meshing well together.
Well, that's awesome. Like I said, that's by far the most original deck I saw this weekend.
Thank you.
That's a very well thought out, put together combo, and I hopefully it did you pretty well after our match.
Yeah, it did fairly well. We didn't get I don't know if we got top 100. I honestly don't know, but we did get 7 points here.
Okay.
So it's still, as of the first team YCS, this is my first YCS me or anybody in my team has ever gone to, and it was amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys. Make sure to like as always, and you guys will see board deck profiles on here from YCS Atlanta, including Luca's, Guard Dragon Crusadia, and on his channel, Classic Dura, you should be able to catch my Luna Light deck profile as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.